Hey kids, this is Jurassic James. Interesting things looking at Poposaurus, actual name. So first and foremost, I want to point out something that's in my head, and I want to give it to you now. Uh, in the Tyler Perry movies, there's a character he plays called Medea, meaning mother deer. It's a name used in the African American culture. And whenever Medea refers to the police, she calls them the Popo. So I want you to know that whenever I hear Poposaurus, I think about that. And now you have that gift too. That being said, let's go ahead and open this guy up and look at him real quick. Let's see. I have, just put it here. I have no other members of this group. So again, new species. It is from the Jurassic World Epic Evolution line. I said before, I appreciate them, even though they're not entirely accurate. I appreciate them making different groups of animals that are not well known. So that's always a win for me personally. Let's see. Let's put that over there, not in the trash. Okay. So Poposaurus. Here we have this little animal here, and you look at it, and let's see. There's your DNA code. So the first thing that sticks out to me before thinking of the actual animal is when I see this ridge right here, and I'm like, what's all that about? Because a lot of times toy makers will do that. They'll put ridges and bumps and stuff on animals. So I will say this, when first discovered, Poposaurus was thought to be a dinosaur because look at it. It's on two legs. Oh, right, late Jurassic, Chinle Formation, North America. I will say that I went to Ghost Ranch a couple years ago and just to visit. And that's why, I mean, Ghost Ranch is one of the, I would say, the top 10 like well-known fossil sites in North America. Well, not United States at least. And so the idea is that I wanted to go there, and I went there on my own and just hung out and met the paleontologists in charge. It's really great. And so the idea here is this animal was thought to be a dinosaur, but then you look at the anatomy, you look closer, you go, oh, it's not. And actually, it's something even cooler. Not cooler than dinosaurs, but cool in that what it is and what it represents. Now, here's the thing. Looking at its feet, there are these long feet, these short kind of, the legs are kind of short. And again, the Jurassic World figures, the dinosaurs themselves, the predator dinosaurs are like $10. They're not the best a lot of times. But this guy, they as close as they could, they pretty much kind of nailed it because it's not supposed to look like a dinosaur because it's not a dinosaur. So let me explain. There is a group of animals called Rasuchians. Rasuchian is a term that's been given or outlined for the large crocodile-esque creatures of the late Triassic. They are not true crocodiles. They are upright, more predators. But they now we think in paleontology that instead of being just one giant group, they're actually subgroups that have the same features, right? And so the most famous member of this group, of course, is Poposaurus. This is a safari figure. This is the Jurassic World one. If I remember correctly, it does. Yeah, there it goes. You move the tail that way and it does that. So these Rasuchians were the top predator in the world of the late Triassic on land. Poposaurus in North America, Saurosuchus in South America, and there's one more forgetting. Prestasuchus in South America, mid-Cretaceous, mid-Triassic. And so what's going on here is that it turns out that this guy is closer related to the Rasuchians than it is to, let's say, Coelophysis or Tawana here, these two dinosaurs. Like, what do you mean by that? So the Triassic is known as the Age of Crocodiles. That's his nickname for this time. And the idea behind that is that after the Permian extinction, the ancestors of Poposaurus, these are all animals that are contemporaries in the same environment. Poposaurus is people historically call them mammal-like reptiles. That's a bad term because they're not reptiles. The group is called Therapsid. They're not leading towards. They are a sister group to true mammals. Better terminology. And so these guys' ancestors in the Permian were the dominant group. The Gorgons and their prey. The Permian extinction happens, wipes out most life on Earth, and then there's a rebound of life. Well, the Archosaurs, the crocodile relatives, some of which you gave race to dinosaurs, those guys, Archosaur morphs. Those guys kind of fill in those gaps. And there is a period, the Jurassic, there is a time frame where the Therapsids and these Archosaurs are competing. In the end, spoiler alert, the Jurassic extinction happens, and the dinosaurs replace them all as like the major group. And these become, well, their relatives become little bitty mammals, and they become crocodiles in swamps. So, But the idea here is that towards the end, you get something like this. And what's going on is that this animal, whose head goes up and down, the jaw, I didn't show the toy parts. There are people who just review the toy as a toy. I'm looking at it as an animal in science, I'm sorry. So it does all those things. It can lay on its belly, look at that. Now, the thing to point out is that this animal is the crocodile, oh right, point of this whole story. There's two branches. of Archosaur morphs that are, for the casual observer, for you guys who are just like, who have real lives and real responsibilities, people who, I spend my day, what about this one thing a long time ago? But there's two major branches, and one branch not leads to, but includes crocodiles, modern crocodiles, and one branch has dinosaurs, or birds and dinosaurs, right? So the question now is, you look at all these different kind of critters from this time who are not therapsids or mammals or, of the reptile, which branch does it fall on? And so there's I think this is a Schley alligator. So here's that. I'll visually do the thing I'm talking about. So here is the crocodile, and I have a bird here somewhere. Where's Archosaurus? There you are. And here is a late Cretaceous bird from Walking with Dinosaurs, Allosaurus. So these two animals are not from the late Triassic. Everyone else is from the late Triassic. These two are not. They're examples of two extremes. And so Poposaurus and its two forms fall in that branch. Makes sense. Coelophysis and Tuana fall in this branch. Tuana has a lot more going on than Coelophysis, but I'll explain that in some other video. And so the, what do you call this thing here? The Desmatosuchus, this is a Schley figure from 2003. It is I would say jokingly they're a plant-eating crocodile, but they're not crocs, of course, but they are closer to the croc branch, the Ectosaurs. That's the name of the group. And so this is on that fall. And of course the Phytosaurs, which are essentially, the name Phytosaurus, it means plant lizard. They are clearly not not herbivores. That was a misnomer to the highest degree. A misnomer meaning a bad name, basically. They misnamed it, basically. And so Phytosaurs and their kind, I have a friend named Ryan who this is his whole world. This is his thing. And so they fall on this branch too. So this guy, when you first see this, and of course, this one you didn't even get the running. You are a therapsid, you were over here somewhere, you're in a mammal-ish branch. So finding this guy, and looking at all of these quadrupeds, armored animals, you go, oh, he looks more like this stuff right here. And now it's the first assumption. And they go, wait a minute, let me look at this closer. Oh, this guy is actually most likely closer to this branch. Because one, if you look at a dinosaur's ankle, their ankles have very limited they're more like a hinge, like this. Like this ankle, what's the ankle? This part right here. So this is the femur, the upper leg bone. This is the tibia and fibula, the lower leg bone. This whole gray part is a foot. And so dinosaurs are digitigrade, they walk on their toes. And so the ankle is right up here. And so dinosaur ankles are like hinges going up. They can kind of move a little bit, but they're mainly up and down. Crocodiles, in their line, like crocs, their wrist can do a lot of stuff because they're walking and they're laying down, they're getting up like that. So there's a lot more articulation in the ankles and wrists and things, right? So this guy has more articulation. Now, I'm not saying, by no means, no one ever says this, that this guy became modern crocodiles. No, this guy had no descendants. But their lineage, this branch, has more articulation in the ankles and hips, ankles and wrists. And so that's why it's branched over with these guys and not the dinosaur in bird group. Also, want to point out with this too is that now there are other members of a group that I do not have. There are either no toys left, or I didn't buy it. I haven't found one yet. But some of the members of this grouping have like cells on their back, but they are not Dimetrodons. They are not Spinosauruses. They are not Tyrannosauruses. They're a different animal. You say, wait a minute. So you're saying cells evolved several times? Yes, it did several times. And so I don't know. I got so worked up just now. The point is, the bone. Okay, so look at the tail. The tail, like the individual vertebra. The bone is sticking down, are called chevrons. One's made up on neural spines. So the cells are usually are not tall neural spines, right? Like this. And so, given what they found in the animal, they're like, that's one of the traits saying maybe it's with this other group. Now again, not Dimetrodons. They would be way over, past this guy over there, way over there. Which is ironic because my Dimetrodon figures are actually right there. But the point of this little analogy is they're over there. So the number of fingers is like 5 fingers. There's 5 toes. Actually, there's 4 toes on the ground. So if this were a dinosaur, I'd lose my mind. But of course, it's more of a crocodile branch, right? And so actually, the family name is Poposaurus. So there's other Poposauruses that I think there's one called Arizonosaurus that has a sail. That's as a toy out there. I don't know where it is. I gotta find it. But other than that, the rest don't have toys. And so the big picture is looking at this animal's anatomy is in North America in the late Jurassic. We have both dinosaurs and the crocodiles making bipedal animals. So, what does this mean? There's a very simple term for this in paleontology or in evolution biology. It's called convergent evolution. Convergent evolution is when two or more different animals or organisms evolve the same traits in the same environment, basically. So, it can be interpreted that, oh, well, dinosaurs began walking upright, and they're copying them. No, they were contemporaries. There's actually, you can't copy who lives right with you, right? Evolutionarily speaking. So that means that the ancestry had that trait or ability, and the dinosaurs kind of took it on, and they took it on too. And so some of this, the crocoid group, went on all four, or were really massive. Maybe some walked on two legs, but these guys went full tilt like that. Get it? Full tilt. Now, that wasn't intended a joke. You deserve better than that. I won't give it to you, but you do. Just know that. So that's why it's so important, because this animal is essentially an upright crocodile. Now you're saying, in the end, what happens? Well, these guys go from this dinosaur form to like that. What happened? Did they lose a bet? And the answer is no. There's no money back then. Come on, think, people. The point is, dinosaurs kind of unmastered. The point is, at the end of, you talk about the big extinctions, like the Cretaceous extinction 66 million years ago, the Permian 250 million years ago, often forgotten are the other massive extinctions. One of them was in the Triassic period. And the end Triassic is where these guys are wiped out. Actually, this one died out before even then, actually. But the idea here is that, for whatever reason, these guys, the dinosaurs, took off. They took the plan and worked. And it's kind of like how you have, this is a very bad example, but how you have like a movie like A Bug's Life and then Ants. They're very similar, but then like A Bug's Life is like huge, right? And so, or if you have two different car companies and one just explodes and then one kind of goes away, So this plan, you're seeing two different groups have this plan, but one accelerates into the next stage, and these do not. So that means the role of being a two-legged large predator is taken by dinosaurs. So the crocodiles, you think, oh, they failed, right? No, because they're still crocodiles. The idea is that there's the ancestor of this branch have tried out different designs. They're saying, what about upright? What about large predator? What about plane? Or what about amphibious, and not amphibian, but amphibious is in the water. What about amphibious predator? So it's trying out different designs. And yes, this did not evolve into this, but that plan was in the makeup. And so, at the time, I don't have it here, there's a small crocoid looking thing, or something we haven't found yet, that's out here too, and that guy takes on this form and moves forward. And that's what's going on. And so we, as humans, tend to look at evolution history as like this long progression towards a certain set of things. It's like, no, it is not towards anything. It's just trying out different things. And so the idea is that the evolutionary process, life on Earth, honestly is a trial and error, really. Evolution, trial and error. And so the idea here is like, the example I give jokingly is like, when two parents have like 5 kids, and what's this stuff? A lawyer or doctor, some do that, and some don't do as well, and like that. So it's like, well, at least, 2 of your kids are making a lot of money, kind of thing. So in the fossil record, these guys are, this lineage is trying different things. Dinosaurs tried it too, and they took off with the two-legged thing, and these guys, it didn't work out as well, but they swamped living large. I mean, I don't know about you, but if I see an alligator, I'm terrified. They're cool animals, but I'm terrified. And so that's where Poposaurus falls in. Now, will there one day be a shirt on my website of a Poposaurus wearing a cop's hat? Probably. For sale? Yes. I can see it already in my head. I need to draw it out and get it copyrighted. But the point is, it's this animal is very important because it's rearranging our view of these things and tell you just how diverse the late Triassic North America, thinking West Texas, Arizona, Mexico, that region there, how cool it really was back then. And how, if you would have went back in time and seen all these things, well, first of all, congratulations for surviving. But second, like, they look different. I mean, clearly these are two different animals, but what you don't see at the surface is all the evolutionary vying behind the scenes. And so they're all just contemporary. I keep framing my videos like, here's where it leads to, here's why it matters to the, but also at the time these animals lived, they were just trying out different things. And I would have been equally afraid of both these predators. I mean, maybe Coelophysis is kind of wiry, can kind of kick it, but there's a lot of them. There are more numbers of them. I mean, I found a block that big with like 3 in this one block, you know. And you find bigger blocks with like 20 of them. I mean, sorry, a block of like fossil rocks, you know. They call it a block, the slang term. Anyway, this went off the rails, and I thank you for tuning in. There are 5 more Jurassic World things, but for the children who and families who watch this, I will keep talking about them and their story, how they're cool. And for the adult collectors who look for more scientific models, I will also make sure to include that in there too for you guys. Make sure everyone's getting something they enjoy. That being said, I have to go to work now. Goodbye.